I'm Caden Love.
And I'm Seema Love, his wife.
And we are Love and Lore. Thank you for coming back to another video. And what are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to be talking about our most favorite rereadable books.
And this is kind of an interesting topic for me. I am not the person that likes to revisit things as much. I'd rather experience something new.
Same for me.
And like she knows, there's especially movies and TV shows. There has to be something specific there. And there are a few series that I have reread. Some of those being Red Rising, because we read those together for my second time. And then Mistborn, when I was getting ready for The Lost Metal, I reread those. So, should I start off?
Yes, start off with your first series.
Okay, so in that same spirit of Mistborn, Rereadable is going to be the Stormlight Archive. And I know that this is a very thick one. There are 4 books, but we're getting book 5 this year, and that is why I'm rereading it. The one of the things that makes this series so rereadable is there is so much there. A lot of people may be like, why would you go and commit all that time to reread it again? One of the points is that you're going to forget so much. And so when you go back, you're going to be revisiting a lot of things that you forgot happened, and you get to dive deeper into the lore. And I love having all that Cosmere knowledge, and you might miss a bunch of Easter eggs early on that you'll catch that second time through. So, to get ready for Wind and Truth, Book 5 of the Stormlight Archive, I'm going to start rereading the Stormlight Archive soon, which means it is quite the rereadable series.
Okay. For me, the most rereadable series is the Lunar Chronicles. And I have them right here. Even though this is not my favorite edition, I'm not a huge fan of these covers. I like the other covers more. But I think what makes this series readable for me is that, first of all, of course, it had everything. Like, it had some adventure, it had some twists. But I think the most important for me as a romantasy reader was that it had really wholesome, good romance. That would be like from enemies to lovers or from friends to lovers, and it was done so well, and I just felt really good reading it. So I would love to feel these stories again.
Mm-hmm. In that same vein of feel good, one of the things that I love about Mistborn is that it gives me that it throws me back to one of my favorite fantasy series, and it's not too long. And so that's why Threadlight by Zach Argyle, this is going to be my indie pick, is one of the most rereadable. This one I am so looking forward to jumping into again. This is the whole trilogy, and I originally did the audiobook, flew through the whole trilogy in a week. And this one just has such great twists, wholesome points, heavy points as well. And since I got this on the Kickstarter, I'm super excited to see all the awesome art in there. And I mean, this is one where I feel like I need to read this with gloves because it is so pretty. And I'm hoping to get Seema to read it, so maybe if she decides to read it at some point, I'll go through and reread it as well.
Yeah, I might get to it once I become more practiced in reading longer, heavier fantasy, but like I said, I prefer something softer, lighter, and that's why my second readable pick is Howl's Moving Castle. That book for me is the ultimate Warm Fuzzies book. It's so summery, and I also, of course, really love the Howl's Moving Castle, the movie, and it's just nice to see the other side of this movie because the movie and the book are actually pretty different. The characters are pretty different, but they're both good somehow. So that's another one that I would reread again and again.
So in the vein of cozy, feel good, nice and simple, we're going to toss all of those out the window and go to Malazan, Book of the Fallen. To be fair, I am only on book 4 right now, but I can already tell that this is a series I'm going to need to reread. Like I was saying, there's certain times with long book series that you forget a lot that's happened. I read Gardens of the Moon earlier this year, and I honestly can't remember much from it. And the Broken Binding makes it very easy because soon they're going to be releasing these awesome editions, and I definitely want them in my library because this is a series that I know I will reread. And I've heard from so many people that have read this series that especially Gardens of the Moon, the first book in the series, gains value during the second read through. And one of the things that I love that Steven Erikson does is he places his deep lore throughout this, and there are so many things that you will not catch the first time. So it is such a rewarding process to read later on. So I will be getting to this one after I get to my read the first time, but I'm loving it so far. I think this has been one of the most rewarding reads because it is thick, it requires a lot of thought, but when it kind of clicks, makes it all worth it.
You know, that kind of made me think of there are some shows out there that people say you need to watch twice in order to, like, get everything. Like, maybe it's kind of like, Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's kind of like that show, is it?
It is kind of, and, like, in a way, I feel like it's a lot like Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
Where you can watch it one time and you get it, you enjoy it, but you're gonna have so many questions unanswered. And you can watch that show a million times and have unanswered questions, but that's some of the things that I go through with Malazan, is I kind of have to accept I don't need to know this all right now, and that's okay. If I do have confusion, of course, I'll look it up on the wiki and try to avoid spoilers, but I think that is one of the things that makes a series so rereadable. It is that there's something there for you the second time. You might have a classic that you love, and it's the same thing every time. Like Howl's Moving Castle gives you the same energy and the comfort. And I think that's what makes a book rereadable, is that you want to experience the same emotions, or you want to get something new out of it, something that you missed. And those are what my big heavy picks focus on.
Okay. Well, as you can see, Kaden and I don't have much crossover in our favorite rereadable series. I wonder if this will ever change. I wonder if he will get into romantasy, and I wonder if I'll get into heavier fantasy. We'll see.
Let us know in the comments what you think the most rereadable series is. We're interested to hear from you.
Thanks for watching.